Welcome, welcome. I believe today is day number 45. We're on day number 45, y'all. We're continuing the reading of Elsie Lincoln Benedict's book, How to Get Anything You Want, in 7 lessons. We're on lesson number 3, Know What You Want Most. This is to get crystal clear. Really, this is step number 1 in knowing what you want. We went through the first, I'll call it the ground, setting the stage. We have to notice what our predominant moods are. Like, how do you feel on a normal day? What's your predominant mood? They make your life. Predominant moods make your life. Your vibration, how you feel, your emotional state, most of the time will create your life. Then the second lesson was how to, let's see, how to remake your mood. How do we change our mood? We went through that in lesson 2. Now we're on lesson 3. All right, now that we know what mood we were in, now that we know how to change it to what we want, now, what do we want? What energy and what mood, good mood, are we going to put behind the desires of our heart, of what we truly, truly want? She's saying that the things that you truly want deep, deep with your heart should not be ignored. They're not just silly little wishes of our heart. Take them very, very seriously. So if you've missed any other reading before this, there are 44 more in this series. We're reading this entire book together and really studying it, going through different lessons. I'm sharing personal experiences and other teachings as well. So you can find the playlist on YouTube. So if you're on Facebook right now, hop on over to YouTube, like and subscribe. I'm growing my community and I'm so, so grateful. Thank you all for watching. I just love to do this. YouTube saved my life. It really did. I'm dead serious. In my darkest moments when I was just looking for hope, looking for positivity in moments of darkness, YouTube University, baby, free 99. And, that was like my gateway into really investing in myself, taking the next step. I used to be so frustrated and be the victim. Like, I want a mentor. I want people to, you know, teach me. And I want to hang around people who like are succeeding, right? I want to be around successful people. Well, successful people invest in themselves. So if you want to be around successful people, that was kind of like the last straw for me. I remember I went to my very first seminar back in 2019, and it was a 4-day seminar, and it was $2,000. And I was like, oh my gosh, my life has changed. That's big money. Cut to 6 figures later. I will never look back. It is worth every penny. And, I always say this to my younger self and to clients that I work with or people who are interested in working. Um, I say, so you have goals, right? You know you're going to succeed. You know you want to earn a lot of money. Great. You should. So why are you afraid of investing in this program? If you know you're going to make all this money, right? Who cares? Just put it on a credit card and pay it off later with the money that you're going to earn, right? Because you're going to take the steps and get the money. I had to talk to myself about that, right? I was like, Carla, why are you so scared? If you're going to make all this money, you trust yourself that you're going to earn it. I know I'm going to work hard for it. I've always worked hard for everything that I have. I trust myself, right? So, back to really, it's like the energy, the people you surround yourself with, people who are decisive, people who are willing to invest in themselves, not just money, but money for sure, but time and energy and focus and attention, right? Really knowing how to shift their state. Ooh, there was a really, really great article. Did I take a picture of it? I think I did. It was about, I'll find it. I'll find it. Did I open it up in my browser window? Hmm. I know where I saw it. I actually saw it on Matt Higgins. Matt, he's on Shark Tank. It was on his stories. Poop. It went away. Did I send it to myself? It was about how optimists rule the world. Hmm. I'll find it. It was somewhere. But it was basically like, oh, is this it? Darn it. It'll pop up like toast. It always does. hmm It was about how people who are optimistic um, and our decision makers succeed. And pessimists, they sound so smart and they never achieve anything, but they sound really smart, right? They sound very eloquent and intellectual, but they never accomplish anything. They just talk, 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 talk. They could point out all the reasons why things won't work, and they never do for them. But it's the people who are real willing to take the risk, to really jump in, follow their dreams, trust, bet on themselves, and they win because they burned the boats. They burned all the boats. So I'll find that post because it was really, really good. And there was also another, I think I was listening to Reality Transurfing by Vadim Zealand, and they were talking about optimists and pessimists and the difference between people who, oh, and Napoleon Hill. There was a whole post on this on our Napoleon Hill Institute. I just posted it the other day on the Napoleon Hill Institute Instagram, and it was, there's a really funny post right now I'm looking at. Okay. It says, this changed world requires practical dreamers who can and will put their dreams into action. The practical dreamers have always been and always will be the pattern makers of civilization. And the caption or the post, the copy says, Napoleon Hill reminds us that this changed world requires practical dreamers who will put their dreams into action. Every breakthrough in history, every great invention, movement, and transformation was sparked by those who dared to dream and had the courage to act. The visionaries who paved the way for civilization didn't just wish for a better world, they created it. They faced obstacles, defied limitations, and turned their ideas into reality. Now, in a world that's evolving faster than ever, the call to action is even louder. Your dreams hold power. Your dreams hold power, but only if you move beyond thinking and step into doing. What impact will you make? What legacy will you leave? If you're ready to align with your success, really go all in. All right? Go all in. Be a practical dreamer. Take action. Bet on yourself. Get out of your comfort zone. It's just so good. I don't know what got me on that tangent. But all right. So, what do you want most? Know exactly what you want. And we're continuing this. We read rule number 29 yesterday, and she was saying you will recall how easily it is to be early when you meet those you love. So we're talking about if you really want to do something, you will find a way. You'll be early to do it. If you really don't want to do something, everything will get in your way. Murphy's Law. Everything will get in your way and stand in your way, and you'll have all these excuses, and they might be legitimate alibis, but it's like your subconscious sabotaging you to like not let something happen. Or it's like when you really don't want to do a big speech because you're scared and then you get a cold and you have to call out sick because you're really sick, or you're like really nauseated and you're vomiting, or you have a fever. It's like you got out of the speech all right. Your subconscious mind, your body shut down because it didn't want to go. That's how powerful our subconscious mind is. So she's saying when you don't want to go, everything goes wrong, as you explain afterward. Your hair won't go up as it should. Your gown needs a hook. The clean laundry hasn't been opened. You you just missed the streetcar, etc., etc. All perfectly good excuses provided by your subconscious to save you from the undesired situation. Surely you don't mean that my subconscious mind is responsible for the lost hook on my gown or the string around the laundry, you ask. And I don't. What I do mean, and what you will recognize from 1,000 personal experiences as the truth, is this. If you had truly wanted to go, your subconscious, which is the storehouse of memory and remembers everything, would have tapped you on the shoulder and reminded you in plenty of time that the hook was off your gown, that the laundry was not opened, that the streetcar would soon be due. It has done just such things for you 1,000 times in the past. In fact, whenever you completely wanted something, A young school teacher whom I knew intimately many years ago and who lived in the same house which me with me was engaged to marry. I realized from scores of indications that she did not want to marry the young man, but she continued to think she did. She had promised her mother at the latter's death, at her mom's deathbed, that she would do so. And as they had been long betrothed, promised to make the following Christmas the date. She had arranged to go to her home in the adjoining state for the wedding, which which was the inspiration for a reunion of her large family, some members of which were coming from abroad for the ceremony. As the Christmas holidays drew nearer and nearer, she became more and more restless and nervous, due, she supposed, the and declared to the extra work. So all of that nervousness and restlessness was due to the extra work of fittings and dressmakers, attendance at showers, etc. All this time, she refused to think anything except that she wanted to marry this young man. She tried to prepare for the journey, but put things off and off. This finally necessitated the combined efforts of all her friends in the house to help her get ready. There were a dozen of us, and each constituted herself a committee of one to see that M made the train when school was out Friday afternoon. Seemingly, the fates had ordained that she should go. Not a thing was lacking. We all went down to see her off, with rice, flowers, and all the rest of the trimmings. Her grip was in her gripe. No, her grip was in her section, the train due to leave in 2 minutes. And all of us standing outside her window, chatting and laughing, when she suddenly left her seat, dashed to the door, and down the steps crying, I have forgotten all my love letters and valuable papers in the secret drawer of my desk. I must get them. I could not trust them to anyone. I will take the next train. I will manage somehow, she said, and nothing she could say to reassure her would convince her that her securities could be sent to her in safety. She returned to her empty room, took out her valuables, sat down by the opening grate, and without thinking what she was doing, threw the love letters into the fire. Something seemed to say to her, something seemed to say to stay her hand when she tried to rescue them from the flames, and she let them burn. Their ashes, she explained afterward, suddenly symbolized the state of her love for her fiancé. Before morning, she had broken the engagement and next day wired her family to have a jolly Christmas without her. This case was unusually interesting from the fact that the young man also missed his train for the same subconscious reason, and when neither arrived, the relatives at the station supposed that they had eloped. That is hilarious. How true is that? Like, how many times, and this happens, well, in younger years, like when you're dating someone or someone likes you and you just like keep going along with it and like you know nothing's going to come from it and you keep leading someone on and you feel so bad or vice versa, right? And you just don't have the heart to tell the truth or you don't even want to admit the truth to yourself because you just don't want to deal with the discomfort of telling the truth or admitting to yourself. I remember I was young. It was like my first love. Loved him, right? Always a little peace in my heart. But I knew that we weren't going to be together forever. Like I just knew that. And I remember the moment it happened, I said, I got to end this right now. I got to end this right now. I can still remember the conversation that I was like, oh no, we got to end this right now. And I didn't have the guts. I did not have the guts because it was like, it wasn't logical, but it was a knowing. Anyways, cut to a couple months later, unraveling. Of course, I ended up slowly drifting away, like kind of just being a butthole. But I mean, I was young. I didn't know any better. And it ended not cute, but it ended, you know, and that's what I truly wanted. But it could have been different. It could have been a lot different, you know? And so, whatever you truly desire is going to happen, whether you like it or not. You can either go with joy or go with pain. You know, that's the truth. So that's funny. They both missed their trains because they didn't truly want it. All right. Rule number 30. Watch your memory in connection with anything you think you want. No matter how poor it is in other ways, it will be amazingly accurate and keen with regard to everything that pertains to anything or anybody you truly admire or want. So watch your memory in connections with anything that you think you want. No matter how poor it is in other ways, it will be amazingly accurate and keen with regard to everything that pertains to anything or anybody you truly admire or want. When you are forever forgetting a man's name, you subconsciously do not like him. Ooh, that's interesting. When you are forever forgetting someone's name, you subconsciously do not like them. I wouldn't say, I mean, I know what she's saying, but like, I think it's true that you subconsciously forget people's names when you know that they're like not going to be an important part in your life or you don't want them to be. God, there has been people that for the love of Pete, I cannot remember their names. I will look at them, I will have maybe worked with them and have a lot of conversations with them, and I could not remember their name if my life depended on it. It's so fascinating. So I should look into that. All right. No matter how poor it is, okay, you forget somebody's name because you subconsciously do not like them. Did you ever have any trouble remembering the name, initials, house address, and telephone number of the new person you're crazy about? Okay, this was back in the day. Rule number 31. If there is someone who is always forgetting their appointments with you or explaining what perfectly good reason made it impossible for them to see you, make up your mind to the fact that they really do not desire to see you. A word to the wise is sufficient. This person may be and often is sincere in their excuses. Things do happen, but they frequently happen to save people who are too honest to lie to them to save themselves. The subconscious finds a way to save you without lying if you are too honorable to avail yourself of falsehoods, and one of its best ways is by causing you to forget. Here's an example. Darling, he said, I never meant to hurt you. And his eyes were wet. I wouldn't hurt you for the world. Am I to blame if I forget? Forgive my selfish tears, she cried, because you meant to hurt me. Because you meant to hurt me, sweet. I knew it was that you forgot. But all the same, deep in her heart, rankled this thought and rankles yet. When love is at its best, one loves so much that he cannot forget. Ooh, that's the truth. If you will develop a pleasing personality, you will find that people, instead of forgetting their appointments with you, will come ahead of time. They'll be early, sometimes a day or a week in advance of the actual appointment. This is sincere and unintentional, too, the result of the opposite kind of desire. The subconscious exists only to serve you, and it will figure out and produce for you ways and means to get anything you really want if given half a chance. This is so good. I'm going to end right there. I feel like I opened this call with a whole train of thought and I got off of it. I'll remember it later, but yeah, just, what are your predominant moods? Um, Change them if you realize you have an area of opportunity. Be optimistic, be hopeful about the future, whatever you truly desire. Take it very seriously. Who cares what other people think? Surround yourself. Oh, invest in yourself. I think I was going there. I used to be that person who wished that, I had mentors and people to help me. And I remember screaming, I was like, oh, why can't I have a mentor? Blah, blah, blah. Because everybody I looked up to had a mentor. And I'm like, girl, you get what you pay for, honey. You want to be around, it's the truth. If you want to be around penthouse people, You got to pay penthouse money. If you want to be around first class people, you got to pay first class money. If you want to surround yourself with people, it's like a frequency, right? You got to pay to play. You got to pay to play. When you're sitting around people in the VIP lounge, that's like a whole nother, yeah, of course there's good people and bad people. It doesn't make them all good people, but it's a different, it's a different energy. It's a different thought process. And you can use it for good. It doesn't matter. So it's like immutable universal law that doesn't take anything personal. If the jerk uses the power of thoughts to get them rich, it's going to happen. If a good person uses the power of thoughts to get them rich, it's going to happen. So it's the intention behind it. It's like, what do you want? So know what your moods are, know how to change them, which we've learned in these lessons, and really double down on what you desire and get crystal clear. Surround yourself with good people, right? Yeah. I'll try to find that post. It was really good. But I hope you're having a wonderful Friday. I hope you had a great week. Wow, it's going to be the weekend. Stay tuned for some good stuff next week with the Napoleon Hill Institute. Of course, this is my YouTube channel, but the Napoleon Hill Institute has a YouTube channel as well, and it's fabulous, and I make a lot of cameos there. So we are going to focus on, getting rich with peace of mind. The greatest wealth, the greatest riches is peace of mind. That is true wealth, as Napoleon Hill says. So we're going to dive into that over this next few weeks. So stay tuned for a lot of cool things that are coming up around that. Yeah, I hope you all have a wonderful evening. Again, if you want to learn anything more about services that I provide or working with me one-on-one, be sure to check out the description box below this YouTube video. So if you're on Facebook, hop on over to YouTube, and I would love to meet you and work with you. And just stay tuned for all the great things that are happening. I hope you have a wonderful evening. Happy Friday night. See you tomorrow.